The character of Popeye, last time I ran into this guy was actually when I went to Malta and it was a Popeye village. But this time Popeye is actually appearing on a watch from the brand of Spinnaker. And we're always excited when Spinnaker does collaborations because they're usually quite a lot of fun. And we're working our way through the packaging to get to the actual watch itself. But before you get our hands on first impressions of this watch, you will see what you get together with the watch. Because this is the way how you find the instruction manual, you need to scan this code. But my favorite, it's the certificate, because that is a can of spinach, which is what Popeye eats to get his strength. This has zeros on it because it's a press watch, but these ones will be limited, so make sure you don't snooze. With the watch you get this extra strap that is packed into this nice case, and it is a NATO strap with this orange color and a lot of stars. And you will see this on the watch a little bit later on in this video, and we will see which one you prefer. I have a clear preference, but let's see if we agree. But here we're getting closer to the actual watch itself, and we really like what we've seen. This is a lot of fun, it has a lot of presence, even if it is a quite nice and decent watch. It's the Spinnaker Flus, which is a nice watch that we've tried before, but this one has the friend of Brutus, one of Popeye's friends from the series. It's quite fun because I learned a little bit more about the series of Popeye while reviewing this watch, and I actually know that it was started first 1929. So this series is almost celebrating 100 years in a couple of years, which is crazy. This is something that is really present today, but it's really created back in the days. And all the details here is connected to Popeye and his sailor friends. You can see the second hand has an anchor, and on the back case here you don't only have the Spinnaker text and the logo, you also have the spinach cans on the rotor spinning around, which is quite a lot of fun. I like these details that you get throughout this watch. But I mean, the main characteristics is that we have Brutus and his arms are actually the time tellers. But before we look into actually get a closer look at the watch, I just want to reflect a little bit more about the certificate again, because it's quite cool, the shape of this, and I really like when you have these details that goes throughout the watch. Now we're getting a little bit closer, and now we want to set the time, and you will see his arms spinning around, because you have to screw out the crown because it's a screw down crown, because it's a diver, which I think is reasonable, and then you just spin the arms around, and you will see one of the arms are longer, which is going to be the minute hand, and then we have the shorter one, which is the hour hand. So this is how you set the time of this watch, and it's a little bit fun because the hands are quite wide here. This is also how you set the date, which is quite straightforward. But the hands I don't think you should put when you review it on 10 past 10, because that actually blocks part of Brutus himself. So I chose to put it 20 to 4 instead. The bezel insert has a nice feel to it, I can tell you. I didn't get the sound of it this time, but it feels really solid and it's really straight aligned, which is always nice. You also have quick release systems on the strap. There's actually an addition that I haven't seen before. And here we have the case by itself, which is a view I really like to look at, because here you can see the 43mm diameter, 13mm thickness and 51mm lug to lug. And here you can really see how the case looks like without the strap. But we're gonna put on the other strap, and what's addition here is that these spring bars actually have a quick release system by themselves. I've never seen this on a loose spring bar. I've seen this obviously on straps before, but not by itself. But this is really useful, so you don't need any tool to go from a rubber strap to go to a NATO strap, and that's quite a nice addition. And here you can see that you have the little hook here where you can actually just pull it if you want to remove these spring bars. And it's time for us to put this NATO strap on. I can tell you already that I really like this NATO strap because it brings out even more craziness about this watch. I mean, this is a crazy watch. You have Brutus on the dial and his arms are the hands showing the time. So I think it actually is an addition to have this strap that makes this watch pop even more, and it really brings out the orange part of the dials. But a NATO strap also feels a little bit different on the wrist. Here you can see it on my 16.5 centimeter wrist, and you can see that it becomes a little bit more top heavy compared to when you have the rubber strap. So the rubber strap is actually more comfortable on this loose model, I think, even though I think the appearance is cooler on this orange one. With that said, we want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked what you've seen, and let us know in the comments which one do you prefer, the Brutus or the Popeye version. Thanks again, and don't miss out to subscribe.